Yes, good morning. So today I'll be taking you through the controlling flow with the conditions and the loops. So you'll learn how to use different types of loops, the for loops, the while loops, the do while loops, and understand how you can use the logical operators. So just stay with me. Let's get started. First of all, let's talk about the comparison operators, such as greater or less than. So when you look at this, you see that we said we use this operator to show that A is greater than B. Use this one to show that A is less than B. We also have greater or less than or equals. So that is A is greater or equals to B, and A is less or equals to B. We also have equals operator. Please note that double equality sign is used to show the equality test, while a single one is used to show the assignment. So we also have not equal. Whatever in maths we use this one. Then in JavaScript we use A not equal, that is A exclamation equal sign assignment, then B. So that represent A not equals to B. So when you talk about the Boolean expressions, mainly the comparison operators, which return a Boolean value. That is true, it means yes, correct, or the truth. False means no, wrong, or not the truth. So for example, here we have a let 2 is greater than 1. That is true. Then 2 is not equals to 1, or 2 is equals to 1. That is false. Then 2 is not equals to 1. That is true. So that is how we use the comparison operators. So you can just implement this on your browser and try to see the output. So here we can say let results if we assign it to 5 is greater than 4. So assign the result of the comparisons, meaning this variable results, you hold this comparison results. Then we alert that is 5 is greater than 4. That is true. So here we do what we call the string comparison. So we compare the strings to see whether a string is greater than the other. So here, what you have to understand is that strings are compared letter by letter. So Z is greater than A. That is true. So which means you can say X is greater than B, which is true. W is greater than C, which is true. So here we have alert Clo is greater than Cli. So how does the algorithm works? So you compare the first character of both strings, like here and here. So we check G and G. Is G and G is greater than G? That is no. So we take the next one because these are dialectal, right? So we take this one, R. So we both can see that both they have R, right? Then we come here, we have O and E. Then we check, is O greater than E? That is true. So which means Clo is greater than Cli. We have B, right? Then B is greater than B. We check these two, you can see they are the same. Then we have this other one. Then you can see this one is greater than this one. So you read here, I'll send you the notes. You read here how this comparison is being done. I have already explained that. So comparisons of different data types, mainly in JavaScript. When comparing values of different types, JavaScript compares the values to numbers. Just take note of that. When you compare the values of different data types, JavaScript will just convert those values to numbers. Let 2, which is a string, is greater than 1. So here is true because this 2 is going to be converted to an integer or a number. So it's going to be 2 is greater than 1, which means this 2 now is a number, is no longer a string. So let 0, 1 is equals to 1. So this 1 is true also because this 0, 1 is going to be converted to a number also. 1 is equals to 1, which is true. So for Boolean values, true becomes 1 and false becomes 0. So for example here, let true is equals to 1, which is true. That is, this true is 1. This false is equals to 0. We also have what we call the strict equality. The strict equality is different from the normal equality. So a regular equality is equal this double equal sign. So it cannot differentiate between 0 from false. So that's why it will say this 0 is equals to false, which is true. So the same thing happens with an empty string. When you don't provide anything then equals to this will result to true because it cannot differentiate between 0 and false. When the string is empty, it considers that as 0. Just take note of that. So in that case, so that we can be able to say this is 0, this is false, you understand? So we use what we call the strict equality operator. So the strict equality operator, it uses 3 equal sign, like this one. So it checks the equality without type conversion. So it means that we remember previously we did what we call the type conversion, when we convert from one type to another, from string to an integer, from integer to a string, stuff like those ones. We have done all those things. So this one, it compares without type conversion, meaning it checks equality for type conversions. So here we alert, let's try to use this. 0 is equals to false. It's going to be false because it will take this 0 as in 0, then this one as false. These are different data types, right? So there is no conversion here. That is very important. So we have a conditional branching if, that's question mark that you see here. So sometimes we need to perform different actions based on different conditions. To do that, we can use the if statement and the conditional operator, that also called a question mark operator. So how is this used? So we will learn about that. So now let's talk about the if statement first. So the if statement, if the statement evaluates a condition in parentheses, and if the result is true, executes a block of code. So we can have the if statement like, for example here, we say if this statement is true, you enter this curly braces here, then you execute this statement inside this block of code inside. So for example, let here prompt. So you know prompt is to get, it's used to get the input from the user. Let here prompt, in which here was this AE script, let's just say JavaScript here, specification published. Another, you read this. So if year is equals to 2015, alert your right. So it means that if the year that has been provided by the user is equals to 2015, is 2015, so it simply means that this will alert this message, you are right. So in the above, the condition is simple equality check. Yes equals 2015, but it can be much more complex. If you want to execute more than one statement, we have to wrap the code to block inside the curly braces. So simple means that if you are not going to try to execute more than one statement, there is no need to use the curly braces. You can just use this one line. So here we are going to execute multiple number of statements. So if yes equals 2015, then you alert that's correct, and then alert you are so smart. So that is why we have to use this curly braces. So here we are going to use the else clause. If else. The if statement may contain an optional else block. It executes when the condition is false. So it simply means that because you have done logic, you have done the loops, so you know what is the difference between the if statement, the else statement, and so forth, how they are being used, stuff like those. So here we have let year prompt our year. If year is equals 2015, unless you guessed it right, simple means that if this is correct, we are going to get this message. You guessed it right. Then we also have else statement. So if maybe the user profile is 2016, 2017, so we are going to get the message, how can you be so wrong? So simple means any value except 2015. That is what it means. So you can take this and just try it and see what you're going to get. So we can also have the several conditions, which is else if. Sometimes we like to test several variants of condition. The else clause lets us do that. For example, like we have been doing, we have our year. Then if year is less than 2015, alert 2 yearly. You can give any message, alert 2 yearly. Else if year is greater than 2015, alert it's too late. Else alert exactly. That's when the user provided 2015. It's either the user provide less than the year which is less than 2015, like 2014, 2013, 2012, 2010, 2001, then it will alert 2 yearly. Or I can provide that the one that is greater than 2015, like 2016, 17, 18, and 2020, then it will be too late. Then, or the user can provided 2015 exactly, that the message will be exactly. So that is how it works. So let's talk about that conditional operator that we talked about, the question mark thing. Sometimes we need to assign a variable depending on your condition. So let's talk about this one. Let access allowed, that is our variable name. Then let age is equals to prompt how old are you, meaning the user will provide the age, right? So if age is greater than 18, access allowed is equals to true, meaning the user has an access. Maybe it's somewhere whereby people whose age are less than 18 are not allowed. So if your age is greater than 18, then you are allowed. Else access allowed is equals to false. Simple means that you are not allowed to enter. Then you can alert access allowed. So it will alert access allowed if the age is greater than 18. The value of access allowed will be true. Then it will show that now you are allowed. But if the age is less than 18, the value of an access allowed is going to be false. Then it will result to false. So the so-called condition or a question mark operator, let us do that in a shorter and a simpler way. So here you can see that we have used the if else, right? Like we have learned about the if else. So we are going to use this question mark to shorten this statement in a shorter way. The operator is represented by a question mark sometimes is called a ternary because the operator has 3 operands. It actually the one and the only operator in JavaScript which has many. So the syntax is this. Let result, we have our result which is our variable name, then the condition, then we give the question mark, then value 1, then value 2. So the condition is evaluated. If it's true, then the value 1 is returned. Meaning if the condition is true, the value 1 is, otherwise value 2. I think that is clear. So we have here, let access allowed. Then we have age is greater than 18. The user will provide the age. If the age is greater than 18, then true, we give an access. If this statement is false, then we are going to deny such person an access. So here, they are saying that we can technically omit this curly braces and do it in this manner. So that's one and the same thing actually. So age greater than 18, then the question mark true or false. So let's check where we can use this multiple question mark and see what we can do with this question mark operator. So we can return a value that depends on more than one condition. For instance, let age prompt age. So we are going to get the age. So age here that we get is going to be 18. So that's the message is equals to. So simple means this is what is going to happen. If age is less than 3, that statement is true. We are going to get the message hi baby. Then if age is less than 18, then we are going to get the message hello. If age is less than 100, then we're going to get this. Then if none of these are true, then we're going to get what an unusual age. Then we can get our message. So that is how this thing works. So with the while loop, simple means that let's talk about the loops. Loops are a way to repeat the same code multiple times. So let's talk about a while loop. The while loop has the following syntax. Then it's while, then the condition, then you execute the code inside this body loop. Yes. While the condition is true, then the code from the loop body is executed. For instance, we have let I is equals to 0. While I is less than 3, I let I. So this statement is going to show 0, then 1, then 2. Then because I is equals to 0, 0 is less than 3, then it will alert I, which is 0. Then it does what we call incrementing. So it's I plus 1, which is the next step. So it will then print 1, then 2. So a single execution of the body of the loop body is called an iteration. The loop in the example above makes 3 iterations. That is iteration. So here we have what we call decrementing. So what is going to happen here? We have I is equals to 3. Then while I, then when I becomes 0, then the condition becomes false. Then it will stops the loop. So this one is going to print 3, 2, 1. So that's how it works. So we have the curly braces. Curly braces are not required for a single line body. If the loop body has a single statement, we can omit the curly braces. Like here, let I equals to 3, and then I, while I, and I let this. Let's talk about the do while loop. A do while loop, the condition check can be moved below the loop body using the do while syntax. So here what is going to happen? You do, that is the loop body, while the condition is true. So meaning that you will execute the statement and check the condition. The loop will first execute the body, then they check the condition. While it's true, execute it again and again. So we have example here. Let I is equals to 0, do alert I, then I plus plus, while I is less than 3. So it simply means it's going to print all the numbers from 0 to 2, like while I is less than 3, keep on incrementing. So this form of the syntax should only be used when you want the body of the loop to execute at least once, regardless of the condition being true. Usually the other form is preferred. It's while loop. Yeah. So here let's talk about the for loop. The for loop is more complex, but it's also the most commonly used loop. So it looks like this. We have the beginning, the condition, then the step, then we have the loop body. That is the general statement of the for loop. So let's talk about this. We have for let I is equals to 0 and I is less than 3, then I plus plus, then you are let. So here I is equal to 0 and 0 is less than 3, then you are let I. That's what it's going to get, meaning check the condition. If the condition is true, then you are let I. Then you go back, you increment again, then I becomes 1. So I is equals to 1 and 1 is less than 3, then you are let I. It's going to print I, called print 1, then you increment again, then I is less, 2 is less than 3, then it's going to let 2 here, then increment, that's 3, and 3 is not less than 3. So this statement will just sorry. So begin I is equals to 0, that is the beginning. Execute once upon entering the loop. I have already explained that. That is a condition checked before every loop iteration. If false, the loop stops. Then the body alert, it runs this again while the condition is true. Then step executes after the body on each iteration. So this is how this piece of code executes. So here we have more statements on the for loops. So you will just go through them. This is inline declaration. So skipping parts. Sometimes you can decide to skip some parts. Any part of for loop can be skipped. For example, we can omit the beginning if we don't need to do anything at the loop start. Like here, we can let I is equals to 0. We have I already declared and assigned here. Then we can skip here, no need to provide this. So I is less than 3, we continue. This will print 0, 1, 2. So we can also remove this other step. Let I is equals to 0. Then here we can also only have this condition to check whether I is less than 3. Then I plus plus, we are let I plus plus. So that's the one in the same statement. So this is how the for loop works. While loop, we can do the while loop, the for loop, and we talked about the if statement also. We also talked about the question mark operator. We talked about this conditional operators also. So this marks the end of our lecture. We also talked about the strict equality operator. So this marks the end of our lecture. So let's meet on our next class.